Sometimes one unexpected moment changes everything. Tonight's story is about a feared mafia boss and a simple maid whose life turned upside down the day he came home earlier than she ever imagined.
Adrian Moretti, a name that made the entire city tremble. Powerful, ruthless, a man no one dared to cross. But inside his massive mansion lived a quiet soul, Elena, a simple maid who worked silently, stayed invisible, and followed every rule to avoid trouble. She knew Adrian's routine perfectly. He always returned late at night, which gave her a few peaceful hours in the house. But this night, something was different.
Where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
Door opens with a heavy thud. Adrian walked in, 4 hours earlier than usual. Elena froze. Her heart skipped a beat. She wasn't scared because he was dangerous. She was scared because she was hiding something. Adrian stepped forward, his voice cold. "Why do you look like you've seen a ghost?" She didn't answer. She simply glanced at the closed door behind her.
Adrian's shoes echoed through the hall as he approached her. "What's behind that door?" he asked. Elena's hands shook. Her breath trembled. "Sir, please, don't open it," she whispered. That sentence alone lit a fire of suspicion inside him. He reached for the door handle. Elena quickly stepped forward. "Sir, please, stay silent." He stopped, not because he listened, but because her fear wasn't normal. It wasn't fear of him. Elena slowly pushed the door open, and inside, lying on the floor, was a little boy, barely 7 years old. Adrian's eyes widened. Elena spoke softly. "I found him near the gate, crying, running from some criminals. I brought him inside to save him." For the first time, Adrian saw something in Elena he never expected: courage. He asked, stern, "Do you even know what kind of trouble you've brought into my house?" Elena's voice didn't shake this time. "I know, sir, but he needed help." Sudden loud banging shakes the mansion door. The criminals had tracked the boy right to the Mafia boss's doorstep. They had no idea whose house they were threatening. Adrian gave a cold, dangerous smirk. "Elena, take the boy downstairs. I'll handle this." She grabbed the boy and ran. What happened outside that door remains a mystery. But those men never came back.
Later that night, Adrian sat on the staircase, silent, exhausted. Elena sat beside him, the rescued child sleeping in her lap. Adrian broke the silence. "You risked your life today for someone you don't even know. Why?" Elena smiled softly. "I've lived most of my life being scared, sir. For the first time, it felt right to be brave." Adrian, a man who believed fear was power, was learning courage from the maid he always ignored.
That night changed everything. Adrian Moretti discovered a side of himself he never knew, a heart he thought he had lost long ago. Elena didn't just save a child, she brought humanity back into the life of a man lost to crime.
One early return, one decision, one moment that changed both their lives.
Everyone has secrets. But some secrets are so shocking, so dangerous, that one word can save a life. Tonight's story revolves around a feared Mafia boss and a simple maid who whispered only 2 words that changed everything.
Where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
His name was Adrian Moretti, a name that carried fear, power, and blood. The entire city knew him as a ruthless Mafia boss. But in his enormous mansion lived someone who never cared about power. Elena, the maid. She worked quietly, moved silently, and stayed far away from the dangerous world her boss lived in. For Elena, every day was the same. Clean the house, avoid trouble, stay invisible. But one evening, fate had other plans. Elena checked the clock. Adrian was always home after midnight, which meant she had hours to finish her work. But that night, the mansion door opened early. Elena froze in her steps. Her eyes widened. Adrian Moretti stood at the entrance, earlier than ever.
Why are you staring? Did something happen?
Elena's throat dried. Her heartbeat raced, not because she feared Adrian, but because she was hiding something. Adrian noticed her trembling hands, her unusual silence, her glance toward the guest room. His suspicion grew. Adrian stepping closer. What's in that room? Elena stepped between him and the door, her fear turning into urgency. Elena, sir, please don't open it. Adrian narrowed his eyes. He had seen criminals lie. He had seen traitors beg. But Elena's fear was different. He reached for the door handle. Elena's voice trembled, but her words struck him like a bullet. Sir, please, stay silent. That one line made Adrian pause. Elena slowly opened the door, and inside lay a bleeding man on the floor, barely conscious, barely breathing. Adrian's expression changed instantly, from irritation to shock to pure coldness. Adrian, who is he, and why is he in my house? Elena took a deep breath. Elena, I found him outside the back gate, hurt, asking for help. Someone tried to kill him. I couldn't leave him there. Adrian clenched his jaw. Trouble had entered his home, and he hated uninvited trouble. But Elena continued, Sir, I told you to stay silent because he said he was being followed.
Outside, the confrontation was brutal. The attackers had no idea whose house they were daring to invade. Within minutes, the entire group was taken down. Adrian returned, covered in dust, sweat, and anger. Outside, the confrontation was brutal. The attackers had no idea whose house they were daring to invade. Within minutes, the entire group was taken down. Adrian returned, covered in dust, sweat, and anger.
Where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
That night, something changed in Adrian Moretti. He, a Mafia boss feared by thousands, learned the value of mercy because of a maid he had never truly seen. And Elena, the girl who whispered, "Stay silent," ended up saving 2 lives, the stranger's and Adrian's. Because sometimes one brave moment, one whisper, can change everything.